Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my first impressions look on the Serious Player Only Player One Plus, a light version. So yes, very long freaking name, but basically this is the light version of the amazing Player One Plus, right? So the Player One Plus retails for 180 bucks, and you do get two sets of drop-in midsoles, right? So you get their regular kind of drop-in midsole with their targeted, forefoot and heel pods, right? But also you get the quick system, the very first quick system drop-in midsole, which is a little bit more for responsiveness. There's not as much, compression. It's not as soft. You just want something really like low to the ground. This is the kind of like setup you get, right? But you do get two drop-in midsoles, two sets, right? And of course, obviously you get the shoe for 180 bucks. The light version retails for 170 bucks, which, they reduce the price by 10 bucks, but it does come with only one drop-in midsole, which kind of sucks, you know what I mean? But it is their new updated cushioning setup. It's the Quick 2.0, right? So like I said, this is the Quick 1.0, and then we'll get into the Quick 2.0. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave in the free link in the description box if you do choose to get this shoe. It does help me out if you buy it through the free link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones, right? So I did play in the shoe once yesterday, right? So it's kind of like a first wear test slash first impressions. And yeah, of course, the traction on all the Player One Pluses is absolutely freaking amazing, right? So it's been really dusty and dirty and dry out here in Cali. And I was playing in like, the Harden Volume 9s, which was terrible on dust, right? It's a dust magnet, first of all, and just sliding around all over the place. But I took this shoe yesterday, and then I switched into this shoe from the Harden Volume 9, and this has amazing traction. And obviously we do have a fully translucent rubber, right? And we do have this kind of like zigzag traction pattern. It's like a zigzag tire traction pattern. And yeah, it had amazing bites on that really dirty court. And same thing with the regular Player One Plus, right? All the translucent outsole options that I have amazing traction. Picks up very minimal dust as well. Has really good bites on a clean court too. And also the solid rubber options are very nice, right? So you should be fine on whatever colorway of the Player One Plus. And yeah, it's literally the exact same outsole. And the pattern is exactly the same as well. So that is a good thing. So yeah, like the light version, it had amazing traction yesterday. It feels really nice. Very nice loud high pitched squeak as well, which has nothing to do with performance. But also, there is one difference, however, which is the carbon fiber midfoot chain plate, right? So here in the Player One Plus, we do have carbon fiber, right? So as far as like the overall value goes, I feel like it's not as good because with the Player One Plus, you get two drop-in midsoles, right? Two sets, and then you get carbon fiber, right? But then with this one, the light version, you get this plastic, right? So it's a Pebax torsion plate. Yeah, so that's there. And also it is translucent, so you can see exactly how big the plate is. It's just in the midfoot. But yeah, I mean, $10 price reduction, but you don't get an extra set of drop-in midsoles and the midfoot plate. It's a little minor thing for the plate, but the carbon fiber is super nice, right? So anyways, yeah, as far as the heel to toe transition goes, it's literally the exact same. So pretty much just like the Kobe 9 and the Kobe 11, we do have a rubber here in the heel and nothing else. There's no like exposed midsole, so it does feel a little clunky here in the heel, but not that bad. We have a little bit of a curved shape, so there's that. And then here in the forefoot, we got a very nice curved shape and very flexible forefoot, right? But one thing I really like about the shoe is that it feels pretty springy. Look at this, right? So it is pretty easy to bend, right? But it has this like really nice tension to like, look. So when I was playing it yesterday, it had a really nice springy feel. Of course, not as springy as like, like the WoW 11 or the GT Cut 3 or the AR2, but this actually has a little bit of springiness to it, which look, that's pretty nice, right? The Player One Plus, it doesn't feel as springy in this shoe, right? It just feels a little bit more flexible. I don't know why. I don't know why this is feels a little bit more springy, but it kind of does. So there is a heel to toe transition there. Moving on to the cushioning setup. So that is where they improved upon the cushioning setup, right? In my personal opinion right now anyway. So it says Quick 2.0. Right, and we do have this lining. It's a very similar lining that we see to pretty much every single like generic insole, like Ortholite insole. And that kind of sucks because I definitely wish they would put the silicone material that they have in like their explosive drop-ins. You know what I mean? That's like sticky, and really grabs your sock. This is just a regular kind of lining, which I understand, you know, it's not terrible. It still provides like pretty good grip, but with that silicone material has really good grip, you know what I mean? So I guess that's one thing I like about the first drop-in midsoles is that they have this texture, right? Like this kind of like oval shaped texture, and also the innate kind of like texture of the drop-in midsole, like the foam is sticky. So because of that, it like really grabs your sock and it feels really, really nice for lockdown, right? So that's one kind of con with this, but again, this isn't that bad. It's not slippery at all. But also they are using an ATPU foam. So ATPU foam is used in running shoes and it's really, really, really soft, right? So it just also like the foam is really thin here in the forefoot, but then when you feel it, like it's so freaking soft, right? And then here in the heel, it does get thicker and yeah, it has really, really good compression. But of course, because here on top, this lining material is glued onto the actual drop-in, because of that glue, it stiffens it up a little bit, right? So it doesn't feel as mushy, but it's still really, really soft for step-in comfort, right? Also here on the bottom of the drop-in, they have an additional layer of EVA, which is compressed and made into this arch support, right? You can see on the bottom here, this is actually pretty stiff. It's just EVA foam, which is obviously stiffer than ATPU, and that'll be there for arch support, right? So it kind of comes up here, and you have nice arch support. But yeah, how does it feel? It feels really freaking nice and feels a lot better than the first responsive kind of setup. Like the Quick System 1.0, right? This foam is definitely a lot stiffer, and even like here on top, your foot is right on top of that foam, right? But it's still a little bit stiff, right? The cord feel is just as good, however, right? You have really, really good cord feel. It's a really thin foam in both of the drop-ins. However, as far as the how it feels way nicer, right? We have nice compression, right? Nice compression here in the heel and also in the forefoot. Step-in comfort's great. Underfoot cushion feels great. Like I said, you're very, very low to the ground. We'll have to see how overall impact protection goes. I mean, when I was playing yesterday, my feet didn't hurt that much, but you know, like on harder impacts, it wasn't the best, obviously, because it is a soft, like a softer foam, and you have really good core feel. It's like, it's a thin foam as well. So it didn't feel the best for impact protection yesterday, but it didn't feel terrible, right? So yeah, also another con about this is that they don't have an exposed drop-in. So it does feel a little bit clunky here in the heel, just like in the Kobe 9 and the Kobe 11. So yeah, this cushioning setup is definitely way more improved than, you know, also this one. You know what I mean? The one with the targeted like forefoot and heel kind of like pods. This makes it a little bit softer, but still like this ATPU drop-in midsole is really, really comfortable and very nice. So there is the cushioning setup there. Moving on to the material. So the material, I'm not a huge fan of, you know what I mean? It definitely feels a little bit cheaper. And then for the Player One Plus, we have this nylon material with these cords, right? And the quality is actually pretty nice. And also I love that they changed the color in some of the colorways for the individual cords. And of course, we do have this kind of external TPU heel counter as well, which I like. So the quality feels a lot better here in the regular Player One Plus. Here in the light version, it's just plastic pretty much, right? So they're saying it's a multi-layer composite material. And yeah, it's like a screen mesh and a lot of underlays and also overlays. So here in the toe box, it's pretty much this screen mesh. It's really thin. There's a lot of airflow, which I like. And then like on the sides in the toe box, we do have like an underlaying material of like the synthetic. So that'll be there for support, of course, and durability. And we also have these kind of like open parts, you know, exposing just the screen mesh material, which will be very good for ventilation. But also with all these underlaying materials, it is pretty glued down, right? And then over all of the eyelets, pretty much, we have a pretty significant kind of fusement. Look at that, right? So it's kind of thick and also really stiff. That adds a lot to the overall structural support of the shoe, which I do like, right? So that feels really nice. Also, you can see these like individual straps, like these two straps on the lateral and medial side. That'll help for, of course, adding support. And it doesn't really do a lot for lockdown, however, because they're not independent straps. However, it's there for extra support, right? And then here for the tongue, we do have a little bit of padding right on top of your foot. It's also a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And we have this kind of like hexagon shaped kind of like foam netting, right, for the bottom of the tongue right over here. And then for the ankle area, we have very minimal padding as well. And then on the outside, we have like these air bubble external heel counter thingies. I mean, like, it doesn't really do anything because it's on the outside of the shoe. It's just there for, I guess, like the design. But yeah, it's just like a plastic, you know, it's like an air bubble. I'm not a huge fan of how it feels on foot. It's really thin and very supportive, which I like, but it doesn't really, I mean, it does conform to my foot well. It's just, there's pinching. Right, so where the shoe bends, or like where your foot bends, this part, you know, it's a pretty stiff kind of like plastic, you know what I mean? And it digs into my toes, like on top of my toes or on top of my foot, and it hurts a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, it's not super painful, but like when I can definitely feel this part, like this hard plastic part digging into the top of my foot, which feels a little uncomfortable right now. So that kind of sucks. And also, nothing that's kind of annoying is that these laces are so freaking long. Look at this. Look at how long this is. You know what I mean? So when I tighten the laces, like look, I'm literally using every single eyelet. You know, I'm not missing an eyelet. So I'm putting all the laces through all the eyelets, and it's just so long. You know what I mean? So not a huge fan of that. You know, it's just a little minor thing, of course. But yeah, the overall material, I mean, I do like the ventilation, I do like the support, I do like how thin it is. Just right now, for my first impressions, it does feel a little uncomfortable where this shoe actually bends, right? And I had zero issues with the Player One Plus, like no issues at all, in every single colorway also. So there is the upper there. Moving on to the fit, so yeah, literally go the exact same fit that you did here in the Player One Plus, as well as here in the Player One Plus Lite version, right? So yeah, I did go up half a size. I do go up half a size for all my Player One Pluses because this narrow part here in the forefoot, right, where my pinky toe is, if I go true to size, it like kills my pinky toe. So for length, obviously I do go up half a size, and it is a little bit long, but because the lockdown is so good with this, you know, kind of like drop-in setup, I don't really mind the extra length, and then the width is good for me, right? So we'll have to see on how the lockdown is here in this drop-in midsole. But yeah, with the overall fit, it's obviously a little bit long, but also I don't really mind the toe box that much either, because again, like it is a little bit roomy because I do go up half a size, but because of how low the laces go into the toe box, you can also tighten it here and make the toe box a little bit tighter, which I really like. You know what I mean? If you look at every single other shoe ever, the laces go way up here. You know what I mean? So you can't really customize the fit on top of your toes, which doesn't make sense to me. But here in the Player One Plus, you know, it kind of comes down all the way here into the toe box. You can customize that fit, which I do like, right? So yeah, if you do have a narrow foot, I would suggest going true to size. But then if you, like, I don't have a wide foot though, you know what I mean? I have like a normal size foot. So if you have a normal size foot, just be careful with this part here. And for most people, I would suggest going up half a size, right? So there is the fit there. Moving on to the support and lockdown, right? So yeah, I mean, the Player One Plus was absolutely amazing. You know, we have this plastic, this TPU that acts as a sidewall. We had also this overlay. Like in this colorway, it is clear, it's transparent, so you can't really see it, but it's this really kind of stiff plastic material, right? And it makes it very stiff here on the lateral side in the forefoot. So you got that, you got this external heel counter. But then here in the light version, we have, obviously we have the same kind of like TPU piece, but also we do have like this extra layer of, you know, like it's like a plastic, you know, like the synthetic material. It's quite thick, so it adds a good amount of stiffness to the overall material here in the forefoot. Also on the lateral side, we have all these synthetic underlays and overlays in the material, and it also seems to have an internal TPU heel counter, as well as the drop-in midsole has a pretty high sidewall. You know what I mean? So yeah, lateral containment is probably going to be very, very good. I mean, I had zero issues when I was playing it yesterday. And also lateral stability feels very good, right? We have a very wide base here. So yeah, support and lockdown, very, very nice. And again, with this kind of like thicker plastic material covering the eyelets, it feels very nice for the structural rigidity. So there is a support and lockdown there. Moving on to the weight of the shoe, I'm actually very curious. I mean, it says light version, right? So it has to be very, very light, right? But it doesn't feel super light, unfortunately, right? So let's check the actual weight. Yeah, 11.8 ounces. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So yeah, like 0.7 ounces lighter than average. Not super duper light, but it definitely is lightweight, right? Let's compare it to the regular Player One Plus. Player One Plus is 11.8 ounces. And then the light version is 11.8 ounces. What? Wait a second, dude. What is going on? Maybe it's because it has the quick system, so let's check it with the regular kind of drop-in missile for the Player One Plus, right? Yeah, okay, so the regular drop-in is, with the regular drop-in, the Player One Plus is 12.35 ounces. So, wait. Okay, so let's check the actual like outer shell of the shoe, minus the drop-in missile, because that's kind of crazy. Alright, so the regular Player One Plus, just the shell, is 10.1 ounces, right? The light version is 10.3 ounces? I'm confused. Why are they calling it the light version anyway? That's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? The drop-in missile is actually extremely light, however, right? Yeah, 1.5 ounces. The regular one is 2.25 ounces. And then the quick system, the 1.0 is 1.7 ounces. What the? So it's like not even that much lighter, honestly. That's kind of crazy. Huh. But yeah, definitely though, the cushion is a huge upgrade. You know, it definitely feels way nicer than first of all, the first quick system, but also the regular drop-in missiles that the Player One Plus comes with. So that definitely is an upgrade. However, yeah, it doesn't feel that much more minimal. It doesn't feel that much lighter. I really don't know why they're calling it the light version when it's not really that much lighter. You know what I mean? But yeah, also it says light version here. Also says LV here on the pull tab as well on the back. So yeah, there is the weight there. Moving on to the ventilation. Yeah, ventilation is extremely good. You have look at this. It's literally see-through. You have a lot of airflow through these kind of like panels. So yeah, ventilation seems good. And also in the regular Player One Plus, it was very, very good for airflow too. And moving on to the aesthetics, I love the regular Player One Plus, and also the colorways that I've been releasing. They're killing it with the colorways. Like this one looks so good. This is the Cinderella colorway of the light version. I do like the colorway, but the overall kind of like, I don't think it looks as good as a regular Player One Plus, right? I mean, they were trying to. It looks more like a skeleton version. You know what I mean? Like bare bones type of upper look, which I don't like as much in my personal opinion. As compared to this one. So there is the aesthetics there. So wrapping things up, yeah, right now I don't know, because again, like the material, it doesn't feel as good for the quality, and it also pinches a little bit more, but also the cushion definitely feels a lot better than the regular drop-in missile, or the first set of drop-in missiles that the Player One Plus comes in, right? And also it is $10 cheaper, but you are getting one less drop-in missile set of drop-in missiles, right? And the material doesn't feel as good for the quality, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely feel like, you know, once I break it in, the material is gonna get a little bit softer, the cushion feels nicer, and I guess overall, again, like it is $10 cheaper, so that is a good thing, but again, like, there are some pros and cons to weigh here, you know what I mean? Also, again, it is a light version, they're calling it the light version, but it's not actually that much lighter than the regular Player One Plus, you know? Well, I mean, with the regular drop-in missile, it is like, what, like 0.6 to 0.7 ounces lighter, so that is a little bit of a difference, but with the regular quick system and also just the outer shell of the shoe, it is pretty much the exact same weight. But either way, it's the Player One Plus, and with better cushion, which it feels really, really nice, and this is going to be a top tier performer, and I really enjoyed playing in the shoe yesterday. So anyways, that about concludes my first impressions look / first wear test of the Player One Plus light version. Again, if you guys do want to cop it, try to leave in the link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.